So I have a science project that, during the time of recording this, is due in a few days, in fact. And I have decided to start filming a video 2 days beforehand, which might not seem like a good idea, but yeah, it's not a good idea, but we're still gonna do it. So basically all I really need to do to you is show you a definition and show you a picture of it. I have 19 words to do. Don't ask about missing 20. And, well, let's just start with the easiest one, shall we? So basically, DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is basically a molecule that holds all life together, all for the development and function of every organism. And its shape of it is borderline iconic, but while it may seem complex, it's basically just two squiggly lines connected together. If you want to know more, don't worry, we'll come back to that a little later. Also, fun fact, while DNA is basically the blueprint of life, it's actually RNA that makes everything together. It's just as important, but kind of neglected. Hydrogen bonds. And this is where all hope is really lost, isn't it? So basically, it's a weak bond between two molecules resulting from an electrostatic attraction between a proton in one molecule and an electronegative atom in the other. Thank you, Oxford, for that. But every word burned as it came out of my mouth there. So let me put it in simple terms for you. You see, when a daddy molecule and a mommy molecule love each other very much, they make what we nerds like to call an attraction. And basically, that attraction is what keeps all molecules, or in this case, DNA, together to make the world as you know it. Pretty neat, right? Traits are a bit easier to swallow, because all it really is a specific characteristic of an individual. And that's really all you need to know. For freshmen, that is. America makes it way more harder the further you go. But aggressions aside, traits can either be decided by genes or by environmental factors, or if you're a sheep near Chernobyl, it's both. Now let's talk about chromosomes. And if you were one of the few people who were hoping that I'd talk more about DNA, congratulations, we're here. But chromosomes are where DNA is located. They're found inside the nucleus. And basically, there's two types of chromosomes, X and Y, and just like Pokemon, there's no Z. And while males have one X and one Y chromosome, females have two X chromosomes and 0 Y chromosomes. Now, you see, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When I was pronouncing what DNA stood for, that took 10 attempts. This is the third attempt that I'm going to be saying nucleotide. Now, while that may seem like a very simple word, once again, that did take 3 takes to get, unfortunately. But basically, they're organic molecules made out of sugar and phosphate, and they're basically the building blocks of nucleic acid. Another thing they do is they also help maintain metabolic, magic, mild, marketable methods. They just help maintain metabolism. I wanted to be a little quirky. Okay, listen. All you really need to know about a nitrogenous base is that they help form nucleosides, and nucleosides help form nucleotides. And without going mentally and clinically ill, that's really it. Here's another easy word for y'all. Because inherited traits are just traits that didn't come from the Ukraine in April of 1986, but instead come from your biological parents. Pretty easy. And if that word seemed a little easy to you, don't worry, it's gonna get a whole lot worse. Now I have to admit, I made a mistake in that I filmed what a double helix is way after DNA. But let me just get this out of the way real quick before it gets any worse. A double helix is basically the shape of DNA. That's it. In simple terms, amino acids are just molecules that make up proteins. In complicated terms, there's over 500 of them. So without worrying about committing an HOA violation, I'm just going to say that they can also break down the gum that's been in your gullet for what seems like an eternity. Okay, so the cell cycle is basically just what happens to the cells as it grows and divides, so I'm just going to do them all really quickly for you. The first phase of the cell cycle is stage G1. Let's imagine that a cell wants to commit mitosis. And basically all it needs to do is, in stage G1, expand and get ready for that. The next stage is when the cell replicates its DNA inside the nucleus. It also makes something called centrosomes, and what those cells do is help with mitosis later down the line. In stage G2, it's basically just getting ready some more. So either it does some more G1 with expanding, or it replicates more DNA. But if everything is ready, then it's finally time for mitosis. Mitosis is when the cell divides. Oh. You naive fool, you think that's all mitosis is? You live an easy life, not burdened by the fact that you know all 4/5 stages of mitosis. I envy you. I wish that I could live such a carefree life. But here I am, with a burden that I'm going to share with you. As I said, we are never done. There was never hope. There is no will. But if I'm gonna be bested by whatever the heck pro-phase is, I would never be allowed in public. And so, you're gonna share this with me now. You're gonna see the journey that I'm about to take through prophase and metaphase and pro-metaphase, whatever that is. So let's begin with the 5 stages of mitosis. So in this bastard of a phrase, tiny little chromatin fibers condense into chromosomes, and after they do that, the centrosomes start to move to the opposite sides of the cell. The next step is metaphase, and no, this isn't a phase controlled by Mark Zuckerberg, or I guess he's being sued now. Poorly timed. But basically it's when the chromosomes start to line up in the middle of the cell and cross a line called the metaphase plate. Real creative name there, I guess. The anaphase is even shorter than the metaphase, but it's basically when the chromosomes start moving to the opposite side of the cell, and by the end of this phase, both halves of the cell are equal. In the telophase, 2 daughter nuclei will form, and the DNA will decondense, and a new cell is here, basically. And all we need to do is separate. Cytokinesis. The final word. We're almost done. We're almost free. Well, it's been a nice journey with you. This has to be a big step, you know. I mean, it's the final one of mitosis. The final word of this video has to be some kind of big thing, you know. You can't just say, "Whoop." That's really it. It just kind of. So, sorry, that seems like it was a little anticlimactic, didn't it? Sorry. And that's really it. All 20-ish words done. But the actual assignment was flashcards. but I wanted to do a video, and I've had way more fun than I should have really with this. Thanks for watching, I guess. Should I say like and subscribe as well?